Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson. So this fight has been memed so many times. Poor Nate Robinson. I didn't actually watch the full fight initially. I saw the knockout. I didn't know he got knocked out 3 times or knocked down 3 times.
Honestly, the only one I saw was when he got punched in the back of the head. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, that was the first
that's
one, I
not too
think.
fair. I mean, and after that, I guess you can't really recover past that, right? But
Yeah. The thing is that when you get punched in the back of the head in that situation specifically, it kind of is Nate's fault as well because his style or the way that he was boxing was he was kept lunging forward. When a guy
it was
is
a looping hook
throwing,
though.
when a guy is
Yeah, but
throwing,
like, it was a looping
especially
hook.
when a guy is throwing a check hook or just a hook in general, and you're leaping in front, it's kind of hard for him to not hit the back of the head. He's not necessarily aiming for that. It's just that when he threw it, you weren't in that same position where you ended up at. So
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything malicious in terms of from Jake Paul's sense, but you could see there was a huge skill gap between the two of them.
Yeah, of
You
course.
can see Jake Paul he's probably more aligned with a an amateur boxer that just went professional that has like maybe 1 or 2 fights. You can see that he's more like that, and Nate Robinson is just like this super athlete that wanted to hit mitts and started fighting or took a fight.
But you know what? Like I don't get though is that why he's being memed so hard. Yes, like I understand he got knocked out, right? But
Yeah.
it takes a lot of courage to go into that ring. You know, it's like a pro ring and fight.
Yeah,
And he's getting memed for it.
I think it's the whole package, right? You got knocked out by a YouTuber, which who people don't know. This guy has been training for months and months,
Long
right?
time, yeah.
The last year he's been dedicating himself like a lot,
Boxing.
and you can tell, right? He's been trying to actually learn the art of boxing rather than just do it as a one time fight. As well, Nate Robinson always has been like a meme in the NBA culture in it of itself because he's like a shorter guy. He is always like making jokes, right? He's been in and out of the league. He's been everywhere. So I think it's a lot of factors, but
No hate to the guy, you know. I think
yeah.
he tried his best, but
Yeah,
it
I
didn't end
think
well.
I before the fight even started, I knew that there was a huge potential for this to happen. If you saw some of the footage of Jake Paul fighting or sparring
Yeah.
with other people, you can tell that he has a better understanding of how to throw power shots.
He knows how to fight. He knows
Yeah.
how to fight, right? Like
Like,
he's
he's
fought
actually
before.
digs into to his hooks, right? And he also
Yeah.
has he keeps calm and he knows how to manage his distance as opposed to
He
Nate
trained
Robinson.
with Mayweather Gym, right? Or was that
I think that
KSI?
was his brother. I don't know about him. Maybe I'm not sure. But yeah, he wants to go on. See the Conor McGregor. Let's just let's just leave that alone because regardless
That's not
of
going well.
regardless of what you think about Conor McGregor and his boxing record, which is
That's
0-1, Conor McGregor is leaps and bounds above anything Jake Paul can achieve in the next 5, 6, 7 years in terms of striking, right? So don't even compare it to Conor. I think that the best matchup or the best fights
KSI.
that he can take is Dylan Dennis.
Dylan Danis, huh?
If you know
The Weasel.
Dylan Dennis, he's the guy that
Weasel.
he's the guy that Khabib jumped over the cage and eagle
Mauled.
stomped
Mauled
him. Yeah, he's that guy. He's a jiu-jitsu player who started MMA in Bellator. He's not that great at striking. He kind of tries to do Connor's stance and his striking style, but he doesn't have it. Right? It takes years and years and years to try to replicate that style and be able to counter and have that speed and that power. I think if you take him, Dylan Dennis, and you put him against Jake Paul, I think Jake
Good
Paul
matchup.
beats him. He beats him.
And I think
Not-
also too. I think besides that, I think the one that is probably next is KSI versus Jake Paul.
yeah,
Good fight.
that's always a opportunity. I don't know if that happens next, because that I don't know. Maybe it could happen, but I would be more interested in seeing Dylan Dennis. There's There's KSI, and then there's the Ace Family guy, Austin McBroom. Oh my God, if he faces Dylan Dennis, Austin McBroom, and then KSI, I think that would probably be a good order, or maybe Austin McBroom, Dylan Dennis, and then KSI, in terms of like building up a fight and also giving him more time to train, because the more time that he trains, I think his level of fighting, or like skill level, goes exponentially faster and higher than what KSI would. KSI has, he knows he's been training to box. I'm not saying he's a bad boxer, but you can tell that Jake Paul is just he understands at a different level. That might just
and
be
eventually him versus Ryan Garcia, you know.
That's not the Ryan Garcia's. I keep them away from these actual fighters, I think.
Yeah, of course.
Dylan Dennis is an exception because he was doing jiu-jitsu all the way into his 20s. He still does jiu-jitsu, but he didn't get into actual MMA striking and fighting until later in his life. So he himself is not that advanced of a striker, right? I would say keep him with the Austin McBroom guy, Dylan Dennis, KSI, those kind of people. Keep him in that league, and he will be busy for the next 2 to 3 years and leave his mark or whatever he wants to do in the industry.